PDP, what's up, yo? Say, we are doing. Oh, yeah, yeah. Trevor, say, we are doing. Oh, yeah, yeah. Make one more thing. Nigel takes. Nigel George. When you communicate. Rally around Sally. Valley Shepherds, Augustine. Candidate for Chief Secretary. Spartans! Spartans! Come on, everyone. Rally around Valley. PDP, Emmanuel. There is no competition. Ali on top of this game. People rally around Valley name. And they feel it. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, so people feel it. We go beat them down. Oh, yeah, yeah. So we go and Trinidad. PDP, come on, everybody. Rally around Valley. Yeah, me now. I'm for Chief Secretary. Yeah, Valley anything again. Valley anything again. Valley beat them back again. Say, we are doing. Oh, yeah, joy. Don't make us say, we are doing. Oh, yeah, hey. It's a new season. And it's a new reason. Victorious one. We go with and beat them down. Although they put me on the day, sorry, he could make them shake. Natasha feeling it, oh. Doctor Jeffrey feeling it. They're unpaid from the time. Oh, yeah. So the shop, I get it. You will not see something come with the coffee and some the crack feeling it. Oh, I be telling the restraint. Who is that you don't get no lands?
It is a fact. And we like it can get rough sometimes. I mean, sometimes you feel like you're all alone. And you have to find a way to flip yourself.
Rally around Valley Shepherds, Augustine. Come on, everyone. Rally around Valley. There is no competition. On top of this game, people rally around Valley name, and they feel it. Oh. Yes, people feel it. We go beat them down. Oh, yeah. So we go and Trinidad. PDP, come on, everybody. Rally around Valley. Let me know. I'm for Chief Secretary. Yeah. Valley anything again. Valley anything again. Valley beat them back again. Oh, yeah. Say, we are doing. Oh, yeah. Don't make us say, we are doing. Oh, yeah. It's a new season. And it's a new reason. Victorious one. We go in and beat them down. Down. Although they call me enemy, sorry, he could make them shake. Natasha feeling it. Oh. Doctor, yes, we're feeling it. Aerospace from Bethel, Zorisha, I can't see it. So when I see it, I'm so come with the party, and suddenly great feeling it. Oh, happy till I got a spring, when Jackie don't get no lads. PDP. What's up, dude? Say, we are doing. We are doing. Make that more Nigel Tate, Nigel Josh, when you come the kids. Rally around Fally Shavers Augustine, candidate for Chief Secretary. Spartans! Spartans! Yeah. Rally the people now. Come on, everyone. Rally around Valley. Emancipation. There is no competition. Rally on top of this game. People rally around Valley name. And they feel it. Oh. It's not they go feel it. We go beat them hard. Oh, yeah. So they go watching it now. PDP, come on everybody. Rally around party. It's a new season, and it's a new reason. Victorious one, we go in and beat them down. Although they call me enemy, sorry, he could make that shake. Natasha feeling it. Oh. Doctor, yes, we're feeling it. Aerospace from Bethel, Zorisha, I can't see it. So when I see it, I'm so come with the party, and suddenly great feeling it. Oh, happy till I got a spring, when Jackie don't get no lads. PDP. What's up, dude? Say, we are doing. Trevor, say, we are doing. Make that more Nigel Josh, when you come the kids. Rally around Fally Shavers Augustine, candidate for Chief Secretary. Spartans!
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Never is disrespectful. BNM disrespectful. BNM disrespectful. Tell them. You can't say no more to fight.
Spartans! What is your...
You don't say no more to fight. You don't say no more to fight. Never is disrespectful. BNM disrespectful.
You can't say no more to fighter. You can't fool to beg because the people get wiser. PDP come there with fixes just like MacGyver. What's the youth, you a real black warrior. You can't send the student to teach the teacher. Now the words that she speak, it come back to bite her. I'm saying this from you're a young deceiver. Fall immaculate with good character. That's why we vote PDP. Come there we vote PDP. It's for them youth, yeah. It's for them future. To make our people intelligent and cute. Come let me vote PDP. Come let me vote PDP. It's for them future. It's for the future. To make our people don't forget the words of Shamfa. She said from
Nobody lives there. 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 Nobody lives there.
Terrence Bay, we fix we shall hack it and be Taylor. We fix any great Joel Samson.
Speyside, good night. Come on, let's make some noise for Speyside. We started in Castara earlier this afternoon, and we are now home in Speyside. And I'm happy to welcome among us our leader, Comrade Watson Duke. Let's make some noise to Brother Duke. We also have the candidates, 15 of them, all around. And we ask that as you are spaced out along the playing field, it's a big area, so you are able to space out. Keep your mask on at all times. Please, as we have this meeting, ensure your mask is on. Ensure that you could spread out. The field is big and wide. Spread out, we can hear your voice. We don't want clusters because we want you to remain as safe as is possible, please. And so just hold on for some quick instructions from the police.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day. Right? At the end of the day, we have to recognize that we are in a pandemic. And this meeting would not go on unless we have persons adhering to the instructions. Until then, I'm sorry.
Let me clear them up. All right, so there is sufficient space on the playing field, on the grounds. So, and you can sit on the wall, going all the way out to the junction, going all the way back towards the high school. You can stand with your family behind us on the lawns on my right, your left, and I will ensure that we're not here for very, very long, but that we get all the pertinent issues in to ensure that we speak to the issues surrounding Speyside development. Ensure you pull up your mask, please. Just pull up your mask on your face. I'm allowed to be here with the mask down like this because I am distant from all of you. But you just ensure your mask is on. I know you're anxious. I know your boy reach home. You want to see your boy. You want to celebrate already. But I want you to be safe because let me tell you something. Election is 8 days away and you can't vote if you're in ICU. You can't vote if you're dead. So I want you to stay alive and stay safe and not sick and not locked down in any quarantine whatsoever for December the 6th. So I need for you to be as safe. Right, so I'm seeing people moving backwards onto the playing field. That is good. Right, and if you're here with your family, then the group cannot be larger than 10. Right, your single family group cannot be larger than 10 because that's the restriction. Maximum of 10 in public. All right, so good night to all of you joining us live. This is what's happened. This is what will happen when you are live and you're not pre-recorded. You get all the kinks. So we thank you for joining. Those of you way in excess of 600 going for this live, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. We are outside from the workshop tonight because tonight we made a conscious decision. Well, today, in fact, we made a conscious decision that if we're going to talk about rural development, we have to find the people in the rural parts of Tobago and speak to you directly where you are. Because for those of us who grew up and live in country, we understand the experience whereby for everything somebody wanted to get in a transport, catch car and go town to get access to the service. And we can't be talking rural development and expect you to do the same. And so we decided tonight to come out to you, to talk to you. Speyside, let's make some noise again for Speyside right now. That's right. And Speyside, we home. This is the very spot I have kept every single political meeting since I first started in 2017. This is the spot whereby I have always come to reason with you, Speyside. And tonight I am here to reason with you again and to talk to some of the issues that need attending in Speyside for the longest while. Speyside, one of the great things that you can be assured of is that you will finally, for the very first time, have a chief secretary that will sleep right in your own village. And that is important to you, Speyside, because is you raise me, is you feed me, is you clothe me, you give me shelter, and you should be proud of yourself. So applaud yourself, Speyside, tonight. This is an important attribute because in the 40 years of the THA, no area representative for this district ever held the position of being chief sec, which means that for every single time in the last 40 years that we required any kind of service, we had to beg somebody, we had to write a letter, we had to make noise, we had to go on media, we had to make a phone call. Right now, Speyside, you have the privilege of having the person who will be in charge of THA policy living right among you. And that is a milestone. And you should be proud of your own achievement. And there are some things that are priority for this village that we must address, that I am giving you the assurance that we will address. because those of us who live in the rural parts of Tobago must finally get what we call rural development. I have been saying it from Castara all the way around. They hire a committee, and I think they might come here sometime tomorrow. Ask them for the Rural Development Committee they hire, where they're paying people over $22,000 a month in rural development. What have they done for you, Speyside? They have not done anything for you, Speyside. And that's why, Speyside, I am here tonight to renew my contract with you, because finally you have someone who will not just talk about rural development, but who will ensure that rural development actually happens, and that you in Speyside will be a benefactor of such. When we're talking plans for Speyside, the first major issue that jumps out is the issue of unemployment. We have to treat with the unemployment issue in the village. And treating with unemployment is not just setting up a job like they did last year for the election, where they hire you in forestry for 2 weeks and some days and then send you home. That is not how we solve unemployment. You have to solve unemployment in a very systematic manner. Most of us here know of several individuals from right here in Speyside, several individuals who were employed on those works gang and in health, who retire and now home, but nobody had replaced them. And the numbers on the gangs have depleted to the point where they cannot efficiently provide service for you. And Speyside, I am telling you, that is a start. That is a good start, because we have a place where we can plug some of our young people so that we can begin to take care of our road infrastructure. We also have to look at how we improve tourism in the village, so that some of you will not necessarily work for the THA, but you can work for yourself, and you can ensure that you can earn more money than the THA can ever pay you. Look at Little Tobago. How long, Speyside, we're begging for the jetty in Little Tobago to fix? I check online and I see a news article from 2003. In 2003, I was now preparing to go off to study in university. Since 2003, and they're talking about fixing Little Tobago jetty. We are now in 2021. If they come and tell you about Little Tobago jetty, anytime, run them. Run them, because they had 21 years to fix it, and they refuse to fix it. And I've said to you before, not only will we fix the jetty, in fact, I have a plan already drafted up by marine engineers that I brought to Speyside, carried across Little Tobago to look at the jetty. The plan is already drafted so that within the first 3 to 4 months of the THA, under my leadership, we can begin work immediately on Little Tobago jetty, so that our boat tour operators can begin to work again. They have missed the winter season that is happening right now. They missed the July-August season. And I will ensure that you do not miss next year Easter, when we expect a bulk of visitors to the island. But more than that, we have indicated to you that Little Tobago needs to have proper toilet facilities now. And in addition to the toilet facilities, Little Tobago require some kind of concessionary stand, some area where people can sell something to eat, so people can spend the day there in Little Tobago. And who you think going to run that? No outsider coming here to set up shop in Little Tobago. That is Speyside people business, and you have to have first preference to manage the island and to run the affairs across there. I'm also saying to you that if a cooperative can run Argyle Waterfall, a cooperative from right in Speyside can manage Little Tobago and ensure that the money stay right here in the village. And we need more of you young people to participate, because you have to become the tour guides. You have to become the caretakers of the island. You have to become the trustees of our richest natural environment. You have to become the owners of it. And so you young people will find employment there. But we ain't stopping at Little Tobago. The THA purchased Goat Island. It's in a dilapidated state. I returned there recently to discover in shock that several of the artifacts that were on the island were removed. I'm not sure if THA removed it or somebody took it for their personal use, but that is to show you how the THA did not pay attention to Goat Island. And that is to show you how much and how little they care about you and care about Speyside. And so I say to you, Speyside, we will transform Goat Island into the island's #1 honeymoon destination. You want to get married, you're rich and you're famous, you could find the money, you could find yourself on Goat Island and enjoying paradise as a newly wed couple. Additionally, we will marry that with marine studies, environmental studies, because we want those who are interested in securing our environment to actually spend time across there studying our reef systems, studying what's happening with bleaching, coral bleaching, study our fish stock, studying our bird stock in and around the island, studying the animals and the microorganisms that live on the island, so that we can preserve the environment that we have there in Goat Island. We also have to further develop for us in this part of the island our playing field. It is no secret that Speyside has one of the best and largest playing fields on the island. It is something we're proud of. And this is the land that the people of Speyside took from the Morales estate and took for itself, because we were insisting that the village should benefit from the Trois-Rivières estate. And I am telling you that for the first time, that pavilion in the back there will actually have lights in the pavilion outside of the lights on the field. We will also set up around the perimeter of the playing field adequate jogging track. I realize we have plenty exercise enthusiasts in the village. You should be able to jog around the track safely, good lighting and everything. We will also attach to the pavilion a public gym. So you will have gym facilities, because this ground is the home of two of the island's most successful football teams. On one hand, we have the Speyside Mantles that belong to the Speyside High School, which is the most successful secondary school football team on the island. On the other hand, we have Sidees FC, which is the most successful amateur club in Tobago at the moment. In fact, we are the reigning champions. And if we want to keep it that way, we have to provide facilities for our young men and young women to train, and that includes adequate gym facilities. If you look to my right, your left, you will see we have two very dilapidated buildings that require some address. On one hand, we have the old fisheries compound. It is falling into itself. The fishing depot is more a dangerous thing to you, the villager, than it is of any help to you. That facility needs to be broken down and completely rebuilt. And I want to promise you, Space, and in fact, I am covenanting with you that within the first fiscal year, the first full fiscal year of the THA, we will ensure you have a spanking new fishing depot where you can store your fuel, store your tackles, store your fishing equipment. And we will not stay there. If you go down inside Lucy Vale where all the fishermen build their little huts, we will come and assist you in modifying your huts, have them painted up in nice bright colors, create a nice tourist attraction within the area, give you nice stainless steel tables on which to slice up your fish, hygienic conditions, proper access to water, so you don't have to just be dipping water from the standpipe nearby. You will have running taps to your individual sheds, so that we will provide adequate service to villagers and visitors alike. We also have neighboring the fishing depot that is now in a dilapidated state, and that is also a sign of PNM's mismanagement of the area. We have the craft market, and that craft market has been like that for a very long time. The craft market built under Hochoy Charles, and then that craft market was enclosed to create an area where they were making food preserves, and then there was once a bakery there Then there was a tourism office there. Now the building is just left to waste. Speyside, we will convert that craft market into your own micro mall, and you will have a place to ply your trade. I want to say to those who now have to sell the vegetables on that tent, I will give you a space. Those who have a little boutique, you will get a space. And we will not just provide a space, but we will go up a floor. We will go up a floor. We will go up a floor for you. And you see the rain is falling, which is an excellent sign of God's blessings. God has approved of what we are doing and approved of what the party is offering at this time. Hold on, somebody bringing out an extra belly there. So. Right. So we talk about the craft market, and with the craft market, what we will do is that we will go up one floor and provide adequate space for all the young entrepreneurs in the village. Yes, I like how PNM placed the tent and it is providing shelter for us tonight. We're making good use of it because tomorrow they will not make adequate use of it. So we will make good use of it tonight. So we are going to fix the craft market, which requires urgent attention. We also have to look at the vexing issue with the Morales land, the Trove estate. One of the issues that have been plaguing us in Speyside for a while is that many people have squatted inside the estate across the river. And for a long time, many of you have been trying to get electricity, trying to get water. Let me put you at ease. As the new executive of the THA, we are going to purchase that estate, right? I see Mr. Sean sitting down there too. I'm putting on notice. We are interested in purchasing the Lau estate as well. And we are going to see about village expansion. So those of you who are squatting, you will have access to lights and water, proper road infrastructure, and you will now own the land on which you live. And we will ensure that we can use the land in an environmentally safe way. If we allow the current practice to continue, we will wake up one day and all the lush greenery we see in the center of the village will not be there when they're descending the village. And in order to manage that well, what has to happen is that we have to become owners of the land. I am tired of seeing Speyside people still paying the taxes in Florence McCall's name and in all kind of dead people name that we don't know. And I'm saying, and Mr. Gibbons and all kind of thing, that must be a thing of the past. Speyside people must have access and ownership to your lands. So tonight, if you're hearing us and you're living across the river and you're living, squatting across there, and you're wondering how you're gonna get lights, when you could stop using your generator, when you could stop borrowing lights from somebody, when you will get the utilities you need, I am telling you tonight, you just have 8 days. 8 days left before we change around the thing and the THA begin immediately to look into purchasing that land from the owners who have received it from Morales, as well as considering the Lau estate on the other end of the village, because that is important for village expansion. Our young people have to have access. All those lands in the back of this scheme, we will extend the housing scheme. And we have been saying that to you. We don't want to just go and build houses all over the place. We want to expand villages, especially rural communities, because too many of our rural communities are suffering from a situation whereby people feel the need to leave the village in order to make a living. Everybody wants to leave and rent in town. But if you have adequate availability of lands here for business, for living, then you can get the support that you need. We also are looking at supporting the diving industry in Speyside. You may not know it, but outside of bird watching, outside of Little Tobago and Goat Island, outside of the main ridge rainforest, Speyside is extremely blessed to have these reef systems right in our backyard. And to be honest, I don't feel as though we have been managing our reef systems properly. Some of us are guilty of abusing our reef systems. Some of us are guilty of not using the resources there well. And we have to manage it well. We have to provide a situation whereby those of you who are in the diving industry will be able to, for a very long time, to earn money from the diving industry. We are also looking at the high school in Speyside. We can't have a high school in Speyside that not teaching our young people how to dive. We can't have a high school in Speyside and our young people don't know how to mend a seine or to make a seine. We can't have a high school in Speyside and our young people don't know how to build a boat, how to fix the pirogue. And I'm saying that in this area between Speyside and Charlottesville, we will create a platform for teaching our young people how to dive so they can be properly PADI certified, how to fix and repair boats, how to build boats. We will be teaching how to mend the seines, because if this is your community, if this is your natural heritage, we have to position you to be able to take charge of your natural heritage, be able to own it and be able to earn from it. We have to allow you to do that. I have also recognized that many of you, as I indicated, are enthusiastic about exercising. Some of us does walk and come home and eat bad food. So we are losing the weight. But plenty of us find ourselves either jogging or walking between Speyside and Flagstaff, Speyside and Kings Bay. And what we want to do, a couple things. Number one, between Kings Bay and Speyside and Charlottesville, we have to have adequate lighting in those areas. So those of you jogging early in the morning, those of you traveling late in the night, if you break down, you have adequate lights. The area is too dark. They promised us 2 budgets ago that they will provide lighting for us, and they have not done it. But here's the good news. The next chief secretary is a man from yard. And because he's a man from yard, you don't have to worry. He will actually get it done for you. We don't have to beg nobody to get it done. We tired beg PNM and write them letters and beg them to get things done. We ain't begging anymore. We are just getting rid of them and voting for people who will get your business done on your behalf. And so, in addition to lighting in those areas, we are also going to set up water stations along the road. I don't know how many of you got the privilege to see what they did going up Lady Chancellor Hill, where as you jog up the hill, they have water, stationary water coolers attached to pipes that you can go and refill your water bottle. You could get water. They have stationary exercising bikes and poles that you can do your pull-ups on and exercise while you're running on the road. So we want to create an atmosphere within this environment that facilitates healthy living. Because I tell you, we have the 2 most successful football teams on the island right here. And to keep that, our young people have to be healthy, they have to be fit, they have to eat well, and we have to encourage healthy living. Diabetes and hypertension killing too much away. And we have to fix that by getting up daily and exercising and ensuring that we put in the kind of work that we need to put in. Speyside, I want to also tell the fisher folk, and I omitted to say something in Charlottesville that I have to say here. We don't just want to build a fishing depot for you. We want to do 2 additional things. One, we want to ensure that you have the keys to your own fishing depot. Right now across in Charlottesville, the Charlottesville fishermen have no keys to them. When they feel to close it, they close it. And the fishermen have to beg them to open it back for them. That is not how PDP will do business. Because these community facilities belong to the community. And the community has to take responsibility for their management. The community center that we have to fix over, the new community center that we're fixing over right now, that has to be in the hands of a functioning village council. And I'm putting the village council on notice. You have to get your house in order. It's too long now, the village council in disarray. time for that to fix. We cannot support that. Fix the village council. That is important. And we have people who are willing and has the expertise to be a part of it. Fix it so that you can begin to advocate on behalf of the people of Speyside. I also want to say to the fisher folk, we are going to pay attention to your safety. Just last year, Christmas around this time, a fisherman from right in Speyside got in trouble out in sea. Call Coast Guard. Coast Guard said, look, we are no gas. We can't come for you. We are no fuel. We can't come to save you. He had to choke the engine until it starts so that he can make it home. But what if the engine did not start? We could have possibly been mourning his loss, his demise. And I'm saying, if Coast Guard will not protect and ensure our fishermen are safe, the THA must give you the commitment that our fishermen will be safe when they go out to sea. And so our fisher folk, we will ensure you have access to GPS locators and satellite phones, and you have access to flares so that you can communicate when you're in danger. I've also said we will partner with the fuel stations to ensure that whenever a fisherman is lost at sea, we can go get gas and go out and find the fisherman ourselves. We don't have to spend hours begging around the village to throw up some money together to get the fuel, then to go and find the fisherman, because time is of importance when a fisherman is in distress. And we cannot wait on Coast Guard to do their work. If Coast Guard will not do their jobs, we will do their work for them and ensure we secure every fisherman when they go out to get their bread and butter. Because this election is about bread and butter issues. This election is about what happens on your kitchen table. And that's why I don't care any longer to address all the Nancy stories they're telling. Because as far as I am concerned, that does not help you put food on your table. That does not help the young man who need a job to get a job. That does not fix the jetty in Little Tobago. That does not fix Goat Island. That does not ensure we fix the curriculum at Speyside High School to train more divers and sail makers and boat builders. That does not ensure that we fix the playing field so there is lights inside the pavilion, so that there is a gym attached there, so that you have jogging tracks available and water station along the way. That does not put lights between Kings Bay and Speyside, nor does it put lights between Speyside and Charlottesville. It does not help you. And Speyside, I'm saying to you in this election, you have the choice from among 3 candidates. The ballot paper will have 3 candidates. The name Augustine, Farley Chavez will be the first on the ballot paper because we go according to alphabetical order of surname. I am telling you, you don't even need to read any further, because the only and best choice of the 3 is yours truly, Farley Chavez Augustine. And I'm saying to you, all the young men on the block who's still looking for a job, who get plenty promises of work that never materialize, all the young men who the only time you could get something from them is when an election come. You can't even make a hustle to carry a tourist on the island to do a little tour, because no tourists ain't coming here. The place shut down so long. And even if the place open up, Little Tobago in a sad state of disrepair, Goat Island in disrepair, Manta Lodge ain't finished yet. And I'm saying we have to provide opportunities for you young man and young women, because you can't live in Speyside and have the chief sec come from Speyside and you ain't working nowhere and you still struggling to make ends meet. We're going to fix that. That's why I'm in this race, to fix that. And I want to tell you, Speyside, that if Teacher Farley as a teacher, and somebody say I'm better as a teacher, but if as a teacher, I put myself out of the way to ensure that you young people find opportunities, that you'll get out to university, that you'll pass your subjects, that I beg for some more to repeat, that I ensure you'll stick through 6th form, that I ensure I was there with you on the football team to create the most successful football team in secondary school sports at the moment. I am telling you, if I could do that, which is beyond my call of duty as a teacher, imagine what I will do for you as your next chief secretary. Imagine what I will do for you. And in this election, I am aware that 2 of us are from this village. And you have every right to love the two of us equally. And I say to you, don't let outsiders and let PNMites come and try to create bacchanal between us, because Speyside has always been one love. And people from Speyside know that whether you're PNM or you're PDP or you don't vote, Farley treats you with the same kind of love and respect. And let nobody create division among us. This is a village of love. And when they come with the divisionary tactics, run them, chase them, tell them Speyside is about love and about coming together. And there is one team who is willing to allow us all to come together, and that is Team Progressive Democratic Patriots. Let us come together and fix this village. Let us come together and find work for all our youth men and them. Let us come together and understand where the fight taking place. Because I assure you that if you made the mistake of voting for one of the other two, none of them will become secretaries in any executive by anybody. But I assure you, voting for Farley Chavez Augustine is not just voting for a secretary, but voting for a chief sec. And I tell you now one time, I plan to let it drive right up here with the fancy BMW and drop me off right in Lucivale, right downstairs my father's house. And I will sleep right downstairs there as chief secretary, because it is time people from country understand that chief secs can come from country too. Yeah, it can't be from tongue alone. It's time that they understand that people from the countryside are just as bright, just as smart, just as talented, and require equal opportunities. And in PDP, there is no tongue and there is no country. There is one Tobago. There is no east and there is no west. There is one Tobago. There is no north side and south side. There is one Tobago, and we will develop all parts of Tobago equally, so that every single individual, including those of you from right here in Speyside, will have an opportunity to dream again. And I end by telling you this, Speyside. If a little boy from right in Lucivale, who you know, who grew up with you, whose bad ways and good ways you know, could ascend to this place where he could talk to you as a prospective chief secretary, I want you, young man and young woman, to know that there is nothing you cannot achieve. From right here in Speyside, there's nothing you cannot achieve. From right by Miss Janine and Miss Fifi Nursery School, there's nothing you can't achieve. From right by Speyside Anglican School, there's nothing you cannot achieve. From right inside Speyside High School, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Whether from Lucivale or Topilo Scheme or Couple Village or even Marabella, I'm saying there is nothing you cannot achieve. If Farley can be here, you have a right to be here too. And in this race, I am not here to stay here to try to own the chief sec position like London. I'm not interested in that. I'm here to open up the chair so that every young man, every young woman from anywhere on this island will have a right to dream and move towards achieving it and becoming chief secretary one day. But starting on December the 6th, we will go out early to the polls and we will vote. We will vote for the Bamboo Bullifay. By 2 p.m., the race must already be finished, because all the way from up Top Hill, from down in Lucivale, across in Gully, up in Scheme, everywhere, we must done vote by 2 p.m. Every one of us must go out and vote resoundingly for the Progressive Democratic Patriots, so that as of midnight, the morning of December the 7th, as the clock strikes midnight and we move from December 6th to December 7th, it must herald a brand new day for Tobago, with a brand new political organization at the helm of Tobago's development, and that must be the Progressive Democratic Patriots. And so, Speyside, I thank you all tonight for listening. I thank you all in advance for voting. I saved my walking in Speyside for last, because sometimes you have to save the best for last, right? And I will be knocking on your doors from tomorrow and throughout the week, reaffirming my commitment with you. And